Welcome back to the Real Friends podcast. We're doing something that I don't think we've ever done. We're here to talk about a TV show, and our great friend Lunador, Mr. Dawson, is back. What's up, buddy?
Hey, how are you? I'm glad to
So
be on
good.
the Joe Rogan of small movie podcasts.
Hey, hopefully, let's see, right? So tomorrow, Peaky Blinders is coming back after being gone for 4 years. They're coming back with a movie called Peaky Blinders: The Immortal Man. So, what we wanted to do, so that you don't have to go and watch 36 hours of television in a week like I just did, we're gonna try to get you ready for the movie and talk about some stuff from the show. So, we're gonna do that right after this. This is the Real Friends Podcast. All right, we're back. It's Peaky Blinders season. I almost wore my bowler cap today or my flat cap, but could not find it. So we're not doing that. But this was your idea. You wanted to talk Peaky Blinders. So why this show other than the movie coming out and what's your relationship to the show?
It was 100% the movie coming out is what sparked the want to do like a full podcast on it. Um, I also just wanted to be the first person to talk TV on the show, selfishly. Um, to go into uncharted territories. Um, but no, I love this show. I love, and we'll talk about more of it, but like I love Cillian Murphy, I love Tom Hardy, like two of my favorite actors.
Yeah.
Um, I just think that Peaky Blinders is such a special show. There's not much to be said in it except for it is I'm a big crime guy. Like I love crime movies and stuff like that. So
I
seeing a
think
different perspective of it from a different country is definitely
Yeah,
neat.
I think nearly everything you and I have reviewed together has been crime based. Good Time, Reservoir Dogs, Sinners,
Yeah,
Weapons.
yeah. I want to draw a parallel to that in a second
Oh, swick.
because
All right.
yeah,
Yeah, so just real basic about the show, right? So it came out in 2013. So Cillian Murphy was already a known actor, right? He had the 28 Days movies, or I guess he was just in the first movie, but
sure.
I feel like this TV show really kicked it into high gear to making him one of our, most talented actors we have today.
Yeah, yeah. As well as just it's I mean, I feel like America is so sorry to get philosophical 2 minutes in, but like America is so open to foreign film, but
Hmm.
it feels like foreign TV is like, and I'm throwing around the word foreign really like really hard and loose, you know. Um, but it's like people are okay going and seeing like a 2, 3, 4 hour foreign film, but for some reason they get turned off. The American public gets turned off whenever it comes to watching something like Peaky Blinders.
Sure. Especially like it feels like things in America get legs when there's an American remake of it.
Yeah.
Right? Like you couldn't tell me more than like 10,000 people had seen The Office before the American
Yeah.
Office came out, and now people are like, "Oh, well, I've liked The Office since the Martin Freeman days." Like, no, you haven't.
No.
You had no idea.
You didn't know that there was a British version of The Office until someone told you. Like,
Yeah, until Ricky Gervais had a cameo in the American Office, and you're like, "Who's that guy?" Like,
yeah.
but yeah, let's hop into the show. So season one, I mean, right from the rip, you knew this was going to be good. And I was telling you a little bit earlier, like, I watched this in London when I lived there for a summer and like went to Camden Town. And Camden Town is so different now than obviously it was in the 1920s. Like it's like just
Right.
touristy shop after touristy shop, but there's still some of like the framework of like what it used to be. Like the canal's still there. There's some really old buildings. It's really, really cool. But I was like, yeah, I want to check this show out. And right from the rip, the introduction of Tommy Shelby going into, I guess you could call it Chinatown, like of
Yeah,
London, right? So good. I mean, just the immediate tone the show sets, of everyone's terrified of this dude and you don't even know who he is. Uh, if it doesn't grip you, I don't know how, you know?
yeah. It's like one of those things where it's like if the first episode doesn't get you, you don't need to watch the show. Like
Yeah,
it's not for you.
right.
And that's not me being mean or anything like that. It's just whenever I tell people about it, it's like you need to watch the first hour-long episode. And if your first thought isn't let's watch episode two, then like it's not whatever because the shows are very similar and I feel good comparing them, but like The Office, right?
Hmm.
The Office is very similar to this show. But in all seriousness, it's like the first season of The Office sucks. It's such a whatever, but everybody tells you it's a slow burn, so start at season two or whatever. And then you realize that it's one of the best sitcoms for a while.
Yeah. And I always tell people too, I'm like, hey, the first season is actually pretty good when you go back and watch it, right?
Yeah.
Like Diversity Day is, I think, hilarious. I think Kevin with Diversity Day is so funny.
So yeah, I mean, there are some highlight. Anytime I rewatch The Office, or me and my fiance rewatch The Office, we always skip season one. Like just
Sure.
skip season one. We watch maybe sometimes like a recap of it, or like you know how each season on Peacock will give you like a recap of the last season
Hmm.
or whatever. But yeah,
Yeah, but yeah, I just have kind of some stuff about season one, like just some highlights for me, and then any that you have. One thing that's not really a highlight of season one, it's a highlight of five of the six seasons, is the theme song, Red Right Hand, because it's getting some legs this year, man. Scream 7 just came out, and it's the theme song for the Scream films, and now,
yeah.
uh, the Immortal Man's coming out, which so I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but so season 6. Red Right Hand's not a thing. And the showrunners have said that they thought it was overplayed and they thought it didn't set a good tone for that season. I don't know how you feel. I wholeheartedly disagree. It felt different not having that song.
I mean, Red Right Hand, it's like about Thomas Shelby. I can't listen to that song without it being about Thomas Shelby. So, taking away the theme song, it didn't seem like they were taking um away the song from the show. It felt like they were taking away a piece of Thomas Shelby.
Sure. Yeah. And I don't disagree with that at all. I'm interested to see if they bring it back for the movie. I feel like you have to.
Yeah. So,
But yeah, we'll see. But yeah, I think it's funny that, Red Right Hand has been such a big part of this show and Scream, and now they're both releasing within a month of each other. I thought was
yeah.
funny. Um, this show you talk about it being a crime show. It's also a show about like PTSD.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So all three of the Shelby brothers are World War One veterans who were stationed
Hmm.
in France. Um, and they are part of the Peaky Blinders, which is like a mafia kind of thing, in Brookshire. Is it Brookshire?
Yeah, I mean it's the basic area is Birmingham, right?
Oh,
Like,
Birmingham, that's where it
yeah.
is. Yeah, I get it mixed up. It is like a crime show in the fact that there is crime. It is a mafia, but these
Hmm.
guys, it goes a lot into before PTSD was even a thing. Like they call it shell shock in the
Right.
show. And Thomas Shelby, I don't feel like I mean spoilers for the whole show. Like Thomas Shelby has an opioid addiction or opium addiction.
Hmm.
And Arthur, his older brother, who's kind of like the brute of the like it or not, he doesn't like being called that, but his archetype is like the brute or the muscle of the
Right.
Peaky Blinders is
Certainly not the brains.
oh yeah. He's an alcoholic. He's a hardcore alcoholic. And then John is that I'm
Yeah,
terrible with
the younger
names.
brother. Yeah,
I'm
the younger
I'm
brother.
famously terrible with names. Um, is kind of just this like weird stoic guy whose addiction is like getting into trouble,
Hmm.
if that makes sense. Like he doesn't need the opium or the alcohol or anything like that because his is getting into trouble and being kind of this rogue agent where he will just get himself into trouble, get into fights, get into whatever. So all three of these guys, as well as their comrades or their friends and whatever, are all experiencing really bad PTSD from the Great War.
Yep. And the reason I bring up with season one is like their guy Danny, right?
Hmm.
Danny that, was in war with them. I mean, his entire arc is just he's dealing with the PTSD. He's, constantly thinks he's being attacked. He thinks he's back in France doing all these things. And, the first episode's a pretty sad, like, little trajectory for him.
Yeah, it's and I want to start by saying this, which is I don't know for better or worse, but we review crime movies, right? Like we're the crime guys for the podcast, really. But um, a lot of the movies that we reviewed have criminals with like codes,
Sure.
but they're always broken. Connie spit on the ground, but Connie, from Good Time, has this like Robin Hood narrative where he's gonna save his brother, or he's doing these bad things to save his brother, but he constantly breaks that code
Hmm.
to further himself or whatever. And the same thing with the Reservoir Dogs. Like they have this code, but it ends up being bastardized by the cop and Larry, and then ultimately by Joe Cabot. What's interesting to me about this show is that a majority of it is the Peaky Blinders have a code and they live by it.
Hmm.
Like it's never like there are a few times where some of them get out of line or whatever, but the brothers live and die by this code.
Yeah, and
And
they're constantly grabbing people and bringing them back into it too. It's like,
yeah,
some people they're allowed one mistake, others not so much.
yeah, it's shown throughout the show that like you're a Peaky Blinder. If you're a Peaky Blinder and you fuck up, if you go about something like that, the Peaky Blinders are not afraid to kill you
Hmm.
because you've sullied their name, you've broken their code. So they're not afraid to kill you over it. Whereas in other criminals with codes or whatever, the trope in a movie or a show doing that is watching that slowly degrade or whatever. You can also even look into like video games like Dutch Vanderland from Red Dead 2 or
Hmm.
whatever, someone who has a strong moral code that slowly descends. So, but I just thought that was interesting and we should address it before we get too far in that
Sure.
Thomas Shelby is a blinder and being a blinder means something.
Yeah, absolutely. And the family part's a huge thing, and it's interesting because like neither of their parents are really in the picture, right? Their mom's dead, their dad may as well be.
Yeah.
Um, they have their Aunt Polly, and like she, to me, I mean, I understand the show's about Tommy Shelby, but to me, the show is Aunt Paul's show.
Yeah,
Like she is the lifeblood of that family.
sure. And she's not afraid like the first episode, right? Like and yeah, the whole family lives by this code because by the time that in the first episode, Aunt Polly sees John's gun.
Hmm.
and he left it loaded playing around with. I'm just checking to make sure I'm getting this
It's
name right.
it's probably Finn, their youngest brother.
It's John. It's
Oh yeah, yeah. That's John. Yeah.
yeah, the younger one, or the one that
Yeah.
looks like a baby.
Hmm.
But yeah, is John just left his gun laying around where they have like children playing and everything?
Yeah.
And Paul points the gun at his head, cocks the hammer, or pulls back the hammer, and says, "If I ever find this again just laying around, I will shoot you with it."
And she means it.
She means it. You don't fuck around with Polly. You
Yeah.
don't like, and she's just like, I mean, yeah, like you said, she's a lifeblood of the family that everyone, I feel like everyone has a role, which I'm also a sucker for like archetypes or whatever.
Sure.
Like
Hmm.
everyone has a role. Like Arthur is the brute, Tommy is the brains of the operation. Um, John is kind of this wild card, like crackpot guy, but Polly keeps them together. Polly is almost like the mediator,
Hmm.
where she goes along with everyone and she goes along on missions and everything like that, and she takes care of booking and Birmingham whenever they're not there. She takes care of it, but whenever there's trouble that arises in the family, Polly is the mediator. She is in between the two of them, and in between the people arguing so that there gets to be a compromise and the family stays together.
Yep. And then, our final trophy family member, we have Ada, right? And Ada's the black sheep, for lack of better
Mhm.
terms. Like she's always, the first one to come back and try to help and things like that, but she doesn't want to be associated with the family. She is constantly trying to find ways of getting out. And then she gets sucked right back in.
Yeah, like, but that's like a thing. It's like once a Shelby, always a Shelby.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah, it's good. I just have like random notes from the first season. I
yeah,
thought
no.
the Tommy making John marry Esme, the gypsy, was the most medieval thing I've seen in a movie in a long time, just to avoid war with the Lees. Um, Johnny Dogs. So I was watching some of the podcasts they have to prepare people for the movie, and the actor said he was only supposed to be in one scene. The scene where we meet Johnny Dawes is supposed to be his only scene in the entire show. And he
Yeah.
ended up being the most long-standing character, and he's back in the movie too.
Yeah.
And I think he's really, really good. Um, Freddy, right? So the guy who like is I think he does marry Ada eventually. But
Yeah.
he gets Ada pregnant. I thought the scene of him being arrested right when his son was born was devastating to watch. That could be because I just had a kid and I'm in that
Yeah.
mindset, but like that was devastating.
Yeah. It's just, I mean, and obviously, I feel like it's going to be weird saying this. This show is surprisingly historically accurate,
Sure.
I think. Obviously, there wasn't like a family that ran Birmingham. There wasn't whatever. But
Yeah.
like the first episode is a union strike
Mm-hmm.
where Thomas Shelby, who has this code and he wants to help Birmingham, and he eventually goes into politics as a socialist.
Mm-hmm.
Um, eventually, I'm getting ahead of myself, but like he knows that at the time, he people are getting fed false hope or
Yeah.
whatever. So he wants to help, but he knows that a revolution at this time is going to only cause more pain. And then you have the British hiring Irish Protestants,
Mm-hmm.
which are what Tommy and Paul and all of them are. They are Romani, and they have the certain superstitions of Irish travelers, is what
Mm-hmm.
they're called on the show. Um, but yeah, I mean, like it's definitely an odd dynamic that they have, but like I said, it's just weirdly historically accurate.
Sure. And I mean, it is loosely based on a gang, like in England and, at that time. And the showrunner, I think it was his dad. So Stephen Knight, his dad was in the military and like went through things like that. So he's drawing a lot of the PTSD stuff from that. It's an exciting show to watch, but it's also incredibly deep. Like, I
Mhm.
think this is the fourth time I've watched the entire thing and I still pick up on new stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, and we talked about, Cillian Murphy, like how big he got after the show. We're gonna go through it through the different seasons. There are so many actors that weren't so big and have become big that were in this show. My next one of my favorite actors ever. He's in my two favorite drama TV shows. So this and Sons of Anarchy. Tommy Flanagan. Tommy Flanagan plays their dad and shows up for one episode and completely captivates the scene.
Yeah, sure. And that's a devastating scene, and that's a devastating episode because
Hmm.
it's also the episode, correct me if I'm wrong, it could be the next episode, but in that episode he gives Arthur this false hope that he could be like his dad and everything when Arthur's in the boxing gym, and whenever he realizes that dad left again, he tries to kill himself. And
Yep.
to show how, like, and at the same time, Tommy is trying to get his booking license so they can fix horse races
Right.
and make a lot of money. But it's just like a calloused thing to say is the next time he sees Arthur, he says, "You should have used a gun."
Hmm.
And he didn't mean that. He loves his brother or
Sure.
whatever, but Thomas Shelby is the person to like hear something about that and be like, "Oh, I gotta go make a jab about it," which
Hmm.
in a weird way, in a weird dark way, was very funny.
Sure.
It was in a weird dark way, like you hear that your brother tried to kill himself. Even Polly, who's very calloused and whatever, and upset about it, tells Tommy about it, and he's like, "You should have used a gun. Let's get back to work."
Yeah. And he always, it's very evident in season six, so we'll get there. But Tommy is always so focused on his goal that like everything else, it matters and he has a hand in it. But it's like, Lizzie says it. It's like he's checking a box. He's just
Mhm.
constantly checking boxes to get to his goals. Because he's a man that's never satisfied, and he won't ever be satisfied. And then, we talk about other actors and stuff like Sam Neill's in this. Like he already was a humongous actor being in Jurassic Park and things like that. So he plays, Inspector Campbell, who we haven't even mentioned. He's the villain of the entire first season.
Yeah, he's the main
It's
antagonist of the first season being the high command or whatever he's like the top brass who's hell bent on catching uh the Shelbys specifically. He's not even worried about the Peaky Blinder gang. He's just out for Shelbys.
yeah.
And I feel like I don't hear people talk about this enough. And it's the same thing with Hank from Breaking Bad. These guys are shitty cops. These like these guys are terrible or whatever. Like the first episode or second episode, he just captures Arthur for no reason, like no probable cause or whatever, and have the police just beat him half to death and then
Hmm.
lets him go and say, "Hey, tell Thomas that we're after him."
Yeah. Yeah, and there's also the undercover agent Grace, right, working as a bartender there, and she's working for him. It does take I only have a couple more notes on season one. It does take a very weird turn when he lets Grace go from her like servant like work for him and proposes to her. It's like,
Yeah.
dude, like we're going to a weird place now. One cool thing about this show and one hard thing about stopping watching is that every season has such a cliffhanger. And like
Yeah.
this one specifically with Kimber. Um, there's that, and there's also like the cop and Grace going to, I think it's London. Um, and he points the gun at her, and then you hear a gunshot, and it goes to black, and there's the end of the
Yeah.
season. So it's like, do I just start the next season right now? Like, I was trying to watch a season a night, and it didn't work out that way.
Right, yeah. I feel like like that's the problem I feel like I face sometimes is it's like I need to watch a movie, right? Like I need to watch a movie. Um and I'm like, "Ugh, I don't have the time or whatever. I need to be doing something else." And then I end up watching like 8 hours of TV that day.
Yep,
Like
yep.
I end up watching it. Yeah.
This is why I mostly avoid TV. Not because I don't like it, but because it's a lot easier for me to watch a 3-hour film than it is to watch an even 6 episode season.
Yeah. Because
But
it's just like, I mean, and Peaky Blinders just does it. Not only does every season end with a cliffhanger, every episode ends with a cliffhanger.
pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, and then season two, are you done with season one?
Yeah, yeah, I'm good.
That was it. Season two, I really thank God for subtitles.
For Tom Hardy.
Yes, for Alfie Solomons.
Yeah.
Um, but another fun thing is that Killian Murphy smokes like a chimney in this show.
Hmm.
Like Thomas Shelby, and it was said, so Killian Murphy has been on the record that he hates cigarettes, he hates the smell of cigarettes, everything like that. They make him feel sick or whatever. So they had to order in bulk like rose cigarettes, which are like prop cigarettes that you can actually smoke and there's not tobacco in them or anything. And Killian Murphy smoked something crazy for the whole show. It was like he smoked like 5,000 cigarettes, which is crazy.
I love the little roll he does on his lips,
I
like every
know.
time he puts it in.
And I think smoking in movies and TV shows badass. Like if a
Oh yeah.
character's smoking, I think it looks badass.
Yeah.
So,
No,
but
I entirely agree.
in almost every scene, he's smoking or drinking.
Yeah.
It's one of those two things.
Well, and you notice too, and he has said this, like, so you see him in other stuff, and his voice does not sound like that. He said that because Tommy Shelby smokes so much, he lowered his voice an octave for when he talks. Because he's like, this dude, all he does is smoke. He has to have like a low voice.
Like a smoker's cough almost.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. One important note about this season, and this will be at least one of two times this happens, maybe even more. You know, TV shows a lot of times actors will leave, right? And if you're trying to do a continuation of something, like it's kind of hard to recast someone. So Freddie is killed off in between seasons, and there's
Yeah.
really no reason why he was killed off, but the actor Ito Goldberg joined the show Salem the very same year this one came out, and he was like the second person in that show. So I'm assuming he just left Peaky to do that. But this is one
Yeah.
of at least two times that a character is killed off between seasons because they couldn't be a part of the show anymore.
Well, it one of them is a different story completely.
Oh, entirely. But they
Yeah.
had to change the story in both seasons because,
Yeah.
of
Which is
something out
Paul,
of their control. Yeah.
the actress who played Paul or Aunt Polly died of breast cancer, I believe,
Yeah, yeah, breast cancer.
which was very sad to see. We'll touch on it like an actual like story plot of what happens between the two of them, but it's very sad to see because she was supposed to stick it out through the rest of the show,
Yep.
or at least have an on-screen death.
Yeah, I would really, really love to know how much of the script for season 6 changed because she passed away in real life. I assume it had to change majorly, and I feel like you can kind of feel that, but we'll get there. We're still 4 seasons from that.
I know, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I did it. But you talked about Tom Hardy, right? This is the introduction of Tom Hardy. It's an introduction of Camden. Michael, Paul's son, is introduced here. And Josh O'Connor. Josh O'Connor had a bit part in season 2, episode 4. He's um guy living with Ada.
Yeah. It's I feel like it's so weird. And here's the criminals with a code thing or whatever, which is like Tommy doesn't help Ada a lot.
No.
Tommy isn't, Ada decides not to be around or whatever, but Tommy believes that he gets a say in Ada's life.
Hmm.
Which she's not allowed to marry this guy. This guy's a bum. This guy's a, you know.
Yeah, we
So
saw that with Freddy in season one, right? And then he takes exception to Josh O'Connor's character, and it turns out that he's gay, so it doesn't matter either way.
yeah.
But
Um,
yeah.
so yeah, I mean, no, that's what it's just weird that like Thomas Shelby, like she lives by herself and
Hmm.
she doesn't want anything to do with it. And like I said, once a Shelby, always a Shelby. But it's so weird that they kind of have this because you know that if anyone like fucked with Ada, Thomas Shelby is gonna unleash like the
Yeah,
gates of hell.
it's game over. And
Yeah.
Ada's funny because in later seasons she plays on that. Like she'll go places and she'll say her name and she's like, I know I can do whatever I want because I'm a Shelby.
Yeah. Which is just like the perk of being in the family that runs Birmingham.
Right. Yeah, but this season is pretty focused on them trying to take over all of Kimber's racetracks and things like that. We get our first taste of Alfie Solomon's being a twisted little dude. Like like
Dude, the satyr scene is the craziest one where he's contracted by the blinders to kill Billy Kimber.
mm-hmm,
That's who they were trying to kill, right?
mm-hmm, yep.
Yeah. And he's like he turns it on to Thomas and the uh sneak attacks Arthur.
Yeah. At the same time as Campbell, because Arthur's working with Campbell to get what he wants, and yeah, Campbell and Solomon's both turn on him in the same episode.
Yeah. And then like the I feel like it needs to be said because we kind of just shit on him. Arthur is a badass.
Mm-hmm.
Arthur, like people talk about how he is this brute or the fact that Tommy is a badass and all of that. Arthur gets it done. Like Arthur gets like if you have a problem with it, Arthur's coming for you.
Well, and his instincts, like I don't know if he always had them or they're his military instincts, but he could tell when things are starting to go wrong. Like he
Yeah.
can feel it. He's a good strategist, I think. I mean, I think the actor that plays Arthur is just so great. And I saw something from him the other day, completely off topic, but he said that he doesn't love they're making a movie. He wished they had made more seasons of the show.
I can get behind that. I
Sure.
mean, I could get behind that. It's either hit or miss for me. It's gonna be hit or miss for me. It's either gonna be like a 3 or a 8. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
Like
don't think there's going to be much in between. Yeah, I'm
I
with
don't
you.
think it's yeah, I just think that also with like TV, they talk about something that it's that you get to balance something. You get to
Hmm.
balance a season. So, like for instance, like going back to like The Office or something. I keep going back to it because it's like big, whatever. But like
Yeah,
there are weak seasons or whatever, but most of the seasons are balanced. There are
sure.
good episodes and there are weak episodes. So each season from like 2 to 7, like 2 to like whenever Michael leaves,
Hmm.
like um they're almost balanced. There definitely are better seasons or whatever. With a movie, you have 2 hours,
Right.
3 hours, or whatever.
Hmm.
So it's definitely gonna be hit or miss to like end the the show. Because this is the last installment. It's
Right.
been it's been stated that they're not going to pull like a Mission Impossible where the last three Mission Impossibles have been the last Mission Impossible.
Yeah. Well, and this movie, was rumored for a long time, right? And, Killian Murphy had said like, "Hey, I'll come back to the character if the story's worth it." Right? Now, granted, everybody needs a payday, so maybe the script isn't great and he's coming back
Sure.
to reprise his role, but I have hope. I just don't know anything about it, and that to me that's good, right? This is doing a reverse Star Wars Rogue One. Like this is pretty out there, but Rogue
Yeah.
One came out, and then they made Andor, and they treated Andor like a trilogy. So season one, season two, and then Rogue One was the third part of the trilogy. This, we're taking a show that was so good. The final two seasons had over 6 million viewers per episode in the UK, and now we're making a movie 4 years later. Um, I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
obviously we're talking Peaky Blinders because we're gonna watch it, and I'm excited to watch it. I might even
Right.
just stay up till midnight and watch it tonight.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm interested to see what that's gonna be like.
I
Um,
just Another thing about the movie that I'm really excited for is going to be the needle drops.
I was
This
just gonna talk about needle drops. Let's
so
go.
this show had legendary needle drops. Like, and it's crazy to think about because it's like the 1920s. There are flappers and
Hmm.
everything like that. And then it'll just be like a 2013 punk rock song.
The Arctic Monkeys.
Yeah, the
Multiple
Arctic
songs by
Monkeys.
the Arctic Monkeys that got me so hype. And a lot of times it's just scenes of just Tommy walking with his hat pulled down over his eyes with just insane music drops and like fire and stuff all around him. Like, oh, it's so cinematic. I wish this movie I could see it in theaters because I feel like seeing this in theaters would rip.
Yeah. I just feel like hear me out, right? Like in season 5 to season 6 or whatever, there is a needle drop that is probably my favorite needle drop in a television show ever.
Mm.
Yeah. And you guys have to keep watching to hear about
Um, the end of this season then, right? I think, we're gonna kind of cruise through this one because I want to spend a lot of time talking about one of the seasons that is one of my favorite seasons of television, and we're about to get there. But so the big set piece at the end is the racetrack. Grace is back, right? Grace tells Tommy that she's pregnant. And then Polly, who had been assaulted by Campbell earlier in this season,
Yeah.
the A plus scene in this entire show is when she shoots him.
Yeah, because you don't fuck with Polly.
Yep.
Polly and Arthur are similar in that way that like they get shit done
Yep.
or
And
whatever.
that's something I love about Tommy too, is that he lets people handle their business. Because he could, and he does a lot of times step in and like take care of people that have harmed his people. But he lets Polly take care of him. Later on, he lets Arthur take care of someone that wronged him. He's all about people completing their own vendettas too.
Yeah, of course. It's not whenever I say Tommy, but Tommy is the the leader. Uh,
Hmm.
Um, so if you want to take revenge on someone, you have to have Tommy's blessing.
Right.
Like he's gonna let you take care of it yourself because we all want revenge in some aspect, right? Like we all
Yeah.
want revenge in some aspect. But Tommy's the ringleader, and whenever you take revenge on someone, you're doing it on behalf of the Peaky Blinders. So
Yeah.
you have to have Tommy's blessing.
Yeah, and we see that a lot. Like, despite Paul being the true leader, I think, like, she's the leader behind closed doors. Like,
Mhm.
she's always like, we gotta wait for Tommy. We have to have Tommy included in this. And you talk about Michael, like, being the firecracker. Occasionally he'll be like, we're having this meeting right now, and Polly's like, shut your mouth. We're waiting for Tommy. Like,
It's John.
yeah,
John's who
or
you're
John,
talking
John,
about.
John,
Yeah,
John.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yep.
No, yeah, Polly. Well, and I view that. I don't view that as her being like a leader behind closed doors or whatever. But it's like we're not making decisions without all of us.
Yeah. When I
Like,
say she's a leader behind closed doors, it's more when they disperse and then she'll go up and she'll hit Tommy or she'll give Tommy her opinion, right? Like she's got Tommy's ear. She's like right here with him. But in front of the group, Tommy's here. You know what I mean?
sure, yeah. And yeah, I feel like Paul, even though the three of the brothers are the ones up front, they're the face of the Peaky Blinders or whatever. Paul is the most trusted advisor.
Mm-hmm.
Paul almost has being the aunt who does have a lot of comedic bits, I think.
Sure. Yeah.
I think she's so I think and she's so much more than this, but have you ever heard the term jester's privilege?
No.
So in medieval times or whatever, you couldn't talk bad about the king. You couldn't they'll hang you, right? Or they'll whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You can't talk bad about the king. You can't even question him. But the jester could do that because the
Okay.
jester could play it off as a joke, and you had to be uh good at your job. You couldn't be an unfunny jester or
Sure.
whatever. But so the jester ended up most times being the king's most trusted advisor because he could question the king. And that's who Polly is to me.
Sure. That's
So
a great comparison.
like I said, she has these comedic bits. She's not known for it or whatever.
Right.
So it's a little bit different in that regard, but she's the only one who can successfully challenge Tommy. And
Yeah.
that's like a double-edged sword. Because if Tommy fucks up, not saying he does a lot, but if Tommy fucks up, the both of you fucked up. Or
Yeah.
and if Paul fucks up and Tommy listens to her, it's all Tommy's fault. So it's like a double-edged sword there.
Yep.
So
Now, season three, I barely have any notes. You're gonna have to remind me because, like, see, I really enjoyed season three, but the season three felt so much like the foreboding of the Italians that I forget who the actual enemy was in season three or what we were trying to do. I remember there's Ralph Ineson, which love Ralph Ineson. He's in all the Robert Eggers movies.
so season three, what I have written down is Tommy marries Grace. That's a very funny scene to me, I think,
Yeah.
where he has like she's obviously like royal blood or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
She has some sort of like lordship or ladyship or whatever. So all of these like British officers and everything are there. And
Yeah, because their
Tommy,
dad's an officer in the British Army
yeah.
and they're so mad they wore their uniforms.
So Tommy has to pull his entire side of the family. The Peaky Blinders are there and everything. And they're just in the kitchen. And Tommy has to like go around and be like, no fighting, no cocaine, no opium.
Makes them all repeat it back to him. And this is when Finn is starting to get some legs, right? So earlier I was confusing yeah,
Finn
the
and
two
Michael.
brothers, but yeah, Finn's older now. He's starting to get his legs. The son of the pastor, Isaiah, he's starting to get a little bit of legs and joining the blinders. And yeah, he's just going at each of them. And but it's
And
so funny because he'll be like, "You can't do this." And then he's like, "Well, we should have some horse races, and well, we should have some boxing matches because I need you to distract from what I'm trying to do."
right. But that's just a mastermind play.
Yeah,
Like it doesn't break, going back to it, it doesn't break his code. It's just a mastermind play.
right.
Um, and then the thing is that there are Russian aristocrats
That's
who
right.
are on business. That's this season three.
Yep. Yep.
There's also a play on a Catholic school where the
Hmm.
priest is doing not nice things to children, like and Tommy being the good guy that he is. He's not a good guy, but Tommy has a code and he lives by it. That's
Yeah.
like if you're a pedophile, sorry, you can blurb that out, but if you're like a pedophile, Thomas Shelby doesn't like you, and if Thomas Shelby doesn't like you, you're not safe anywhere.
Well, there's a couple attacks on like the church at that time, like not direct attacks on the church, but like in this show, there's that, and then there's the scene like that opens the season later on where it's the nuns, right, are like
Who are
beating
abusing,
children.
yeah, who are abusing the
Yeah.
children.
Yeah, like I love the parts where it's straying from the story and it's just showing that Tommy is kind of a Robin Hood of Birmingham.
Yeah.
Like, came from nothing, he is this huge leader now who could be a socialist and things like that, but at the end of the day, he's got his people's back, and I really enjoy that about this show.
Yeah, it feels like it's nice to see that because whenever you're rooting for a criminal with a code, they always seem to break it. And Thomas Shelby, I can't tell you a single instance where he goes against the code, where he
Yeah,
even to like benefit himself, even to benefit the blinders, if he doesn't agree with it and it doesn't agree with his code, uh even if Polly mentioned a couple of times doing something that went against Tommy's morals and he doesn't do it.
yeah.
That's too far.
I think there's one time that he toes that line, and it's in this season, but
Sure.
we'll get to it in a second. I have a lot of notes about stuff that just shocked me. Even though I've seen this show so many times, it's still shocking. Like, so there's also the storyline in this. This feels minor, but then it, leads an entire fourth season with Lizzie and, or not, I think it's Lizzie and that
Yeah.
Italian guy.
Yeah.
And they have the whole issue with the Italians, like you can't be with an Italian, all these things, and then, um,
Which is crazy because they're like a marginalized group. They're Irish
hmm
travelers, which to people who don't know, Irish travelers were Irish gypsies that had to go to England. So they
hmm
would live on like the outskirts of town. That's why whenever he was talking, Alex was talking, he came from nothing because he was part of a caravan. Like he
right?
grew up in a caravan. So they're a very marginalized group or whatever. And to say that you can't marry a Catholic Italian is pretty wild to me.
Yeah. Well, then John has the whole thing with Mr. Changreta's son that, he says he's gonna shoot him if he doesn't stay away from the daughter or from Lizzie.
Yeah.
And then they get in a fight, and that leads to Grace getting killed. Like,
Yeah. Which
that
then
scene
leads
is crazy.
which then leads to my favorite scene from the show probably, which is the interrogation or Tommy's revenge, maybe,
hmm
which Tommy has him tied up. The not the guy who killed because he was killed at the party, I believe. It's
Right.
his dad. It's the assassin's dad. And Tommy gets in there and he pulls a chair up and he stares at him and he's like, doesn't say anything.
Yep.
And he's thinking. You can tell that he's calculating. Like numbers are going off in his head. And he eventually doesn't know what to do with them or whatever. So he says that he's going to take his hat and blind them to start off. Like, and that's going
hmm
to be, he tells them it's going to be a long, long, slow death or whatever.
Yeah.
Um,
He's like, you're gonna live until you hear the crow in the morning.
yeah. And then, no, and the best, I think one of my favorite lines is like, I forget myself. I forget who I am. I'm a blinder. I'm taking your eyes first.
hmm
To which Arthur, in a very ballsy play, just kills the guys
Yeah.
because he doesn't want to see Thomas like fall into like depravity.
Yeah. And that's a moment that shows how smart Arthur is because he says, I heard a crow. And what he's
Yeah.
doing is saving his brother's soul.
Yeah. It wasn't his, and Tommy is upset about this, but Arthur doesn't care.
Yep.
Arthur heard a crow, like that's what he said. And he sticks by that, but he's like he knows that it's like for lack of a better word for me, he is seeing Tommy as a Wendigo, I
Sure,
think, right?
sure.
Where if Arthur lets Thomas torture this guy from sundown to sunup, um, and everything, even though they are a brutal gang, we haven't talked about that for a while, but like they're brutal.
Hmm.
But Arthur knows that once Tommy falls into this uh depravity or whatever, there's no getting him out.
Yeah, once he crosses that line, you're not going to be able to pull him back. Right.
No, because then it's just a revenge. Like
Yeah.
it's not. It's like yeah, it's like a Wendigo because it's like once you fall into this depravity, it's all you can do.
And it's very interesting too. I kind of think about the butterfly effect with this. Like, I think it's all in the final episode here that we're talking about. But so part of their code is they don't kill kids and they don't kill women, right?
Sure.
But Tommy orders them to kill Changreta and his wife. But his wife was their school teacher, and so um, John and Arthur go against him and they let her live. Um,
which which
which
is
spurs
a
an entire
problem.
fourth season.
Which
Yeah.
is a problem.
But then, so right here, the very last scene in the this season, where I think T Tommy's kind of towing the line of his morals, he lets his entire family, he betrays his family and
They all
lets
go to
them
jail.
all go to jail. Um,
Sure.
and how I read that is that because Arthur was going to leave, Tommy did that to keep him there.
Yeah.
At least that's part of it, right?
It's just like, but it wasn't a mastermind play when he said kill his wife.
Sure.
Like that's what it wasn't. That would have been breaking the code. It wasn't a mastermind play, but in doing so, Arthur let them go
Hmm.
and gave them some money just to get across the sea back to Italy or whatever. Whereas they go and they report to Adrian Brody's character for season five.
Four,
He's a season five, right?
four.
Four for
Yeah.
season four, where it's like, yeah, dude, like he goes and he's a mafia boss, like the Sicilian mafia.
Yep.
So now for the first time they're having a real beef.
And we're getting right into season four. I think season four is one of the greatest seasons of television ever.
I could see that.
Adrian Brody is unreal. The very opening of the season, the impending hangings of the entire Shelby family is so anxiety inducing.
Yes.
It was so beautiful.
No, it's terrifying because you like, I mean, the the thing about TV, the thing about writing, right? The thing about writing is that you have to feel for your characters.
Hmm.
No, if no one gives a shit about your characters, then you failed. It's not a good
Sure.
show. So whenever you see that Tommy, and this was a mastermind play whenever he gave up his family and had them almost hanged. Um, but yeah,
I
I
mean,
mean, it's just a terrible.
they all have the nooses around their neck. Like you're right there. And
Yeah,
I
they're
was
about,
convinced one of them was going to die. So I'm glad that
well,
they didn't right then.
okay, now I'm on season four of my
Yeah.
notes. Sorry.
I you're good. I will say like the ending of the first episode of season four made me so mad.
Yeah.
John was my favorite character in the entire show by a
Yeah.
lot.
Really?
Yeah.
Which John is the first major character death,
Right.
Apart
Oh,
from Campbell, but
Grace too. Grace is gone also,
yeah,
but
Grace is also
he's the first like big member of the gang to to get
to die,
ganked. Yeah.
which he's shot to death. John is kind of on his own at this point. He
Right.
still shows up for blinder meetings and for blinder missions or whatever, but he's living with his wife and they have a kid, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They
Yep.
have a kid and he seems happy
Yeah.
because he married uh
Esme.
Romani.
Yeah.
Yeah, he married a Romani. So it helped with his I don't know. I've tried looking it up so I can be as politically correct as possible. Like superstition or religion or whatever. Whatever. It's good for him. It's
Mm-hmm.
good for him. Um,
Yeah.
but no, it's gut-wrenching to see him die, and he doesn't die in like a savory way. He gets shredded by a fucking Thompson.
Well, and talking about cliffhangers, like this is a cliffhanger to the episode because you think both he and Michael are dead because they're both ripped up with Tommy guns.
Yeah.
Um, then you get to the next episode, and Michael didn't die because half the bullets that hit him passed through John first.
Yeah. It's craziness.
Yeah, and then we get one of the coolest TV entrances of a character ever with Aberama Gold.
I love Aberama Gold.
Oh, dude, especially in this season, in my opinion, and we'll get there. I feel like he kind of faded off in the other seasons or in season five. I feel like they didn't know what to do with him anymore. But when he's first introduced and he's introduced by stabbing a sniper to death, I was like, let's go, dude.
And he's crazy. And you know what I love about him? He's not a blinder.
No,
So
he's a gypsy.
he doesn't have the same code as the blinders, so Tommy kind of takes advantage of that
Yeah,
for a little
Tommy
bit.
exploits that because he
Yeah,
knows it. Yeah,
and it would be different, but Aberrant Gold doesn't want to be a blinder. He's a
right,
hitman. He's a
right.
hitman. He's an outside contractor. So Tommy just has to keep him on the payroll.
And you think, and it does a beautiful thing of because in most of these seasons, like the guy that's the bad guy becomes a someone that works with them. Like we were talking about Campbell earlier. Like he's the villain of the first season. They're working with him in the second season. He's still a villain, right? But they kind of toy with that with Aburama too. That there's constantly the threat that he's going to do something. Point an example, he tries to take Charlie's stockyard. And
Yeah.
that is such a cool scene because Killian's like, okay, and like just if they start talking back and forth, and he's like, don't ever disrespect my family or their property again.
Yeah. And Aberrama listens to him because he's on the
Hmm.
payroll. He's
Yeah.
happy with
Well,
it.
he also threatens to have sex with his daughter.
But but like Aberrama is like he's an odd bedfellow, an
Yeah.
unlikely bedfellow. But Tommy exploits him because he's not a blinder. He doesn't want him to be a blinder because he's just a hitman.
Hmm.
And that's okay. Like not not okay,
Well, yeah. Yeah.
but like it's okay because it's mutual.
Yeah.
It's I don't want to be a blinder. I don't want you in the blinders. Let me keep you on the payroll so that way no one. And there's even talks of someone trying to hire him from Shelby, and Shelby's just like, "What's the price?
Hmm.
What's the price? I'll double it. I'll triple it." Like,
Well, and I don't know how you feel about Adrian Brody, but Adrian Brody to me took this show to the next level. He has moments where because the three huge actors in this, Cillian Murphy, Adrian Brody, and Tom Hardy.
sure.
Adrian Brody brings out the best in both Cillian Murphy when they have their face off, and then later when Solomon's and Changretta have their face off, he's bringing out the best in Tom Hardy too. Those are two of the best scenes in the entire show, and all they're doing is talking,
Yeah.
and it's
It's
so riveting.
yeah, I mean, the first scene where you see them interact where Tommy goes to his office or
Hmm.
whatever and he shuts the door. It's like a horror movie where he shuts the door and Changretta is there, you know?
Yeah. And it's interesting too because we really don't know who he is. We know it because it's Adrian Brody, he's a big actor. We don't know who he is. And then turns out that he's Luca Changretta. He's the other son.
Yeah. He's the son, yeah.
Yeah. And then it is funny. We haven't talked about it at all, and I don't think we need to, but the amount of sex in this TV show is kind of hilarious.
It's crazy. Like, but I feel like it's funny or whatever, but like it's done tastefully.
Sure.
I feel like it's done tastefully because it's like these guys are criminals.
Hmm.
They're not living their lives. Obviously, they're not good Christian or you know what I mean? Like
Right.
they say they're Protestant or whatever, but they're obviously not good Christian fellows or
Yeah.
whatever.
But
But
this season's the first time we really get a taste of Tommy feeling loss. Um, so he lost Grace, and then he's sleeping with Lizzie, like imagining that she's Grace, and oh no, Lizzie gets pregnant.
yeah,
Um,
is this the
and
season where it's kind of muddled? Is this the season where he loses his son? His son gets kidnapped?
yes, no,
Yeah.
no, no, that was the last season. It was the Catholic priest that took him.
My bad. My bad. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah, that was
My
the end
bad.
of the last season. Yeah,
No.
which is very much. Have you watched Sons of Anarchy?
No.
So it's quite the parallel to that because I think that's the end of season two. Kind of the same thing happens. Like this and Sons of Anarchy. There's a reason they're my two favorite shows because they're incredibly similar. They use some of the same actors. But yeah, that happens in that one. But yeah, so Lizzie gets pregnant. So now Tommy has Charlie to Grace. He's gonna have a daughter with Lizzie. And then soon we're gonna find out maybe there's another one.
Yeah. But
Um, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
no, no. I just think obviously then afterwards we have me and my best friend were over at my house, my parents' house at the time. Uh and we were watching Peaky Blinders and my mom was home and whenever Arthur died or
Mm-hmm.
whatever, we
Yeah.
were like screaming like we were
Yeah.
like oh my God, because what's the next season gonna be about if all of them are dead
Yep.
and
And it's an
whatever?
incredible, incredible scene because there's the boxing set piece. And you can tell something's wrong the entire time. And then, yeah, like, again, you went like this. I thought that was so incredible the way they faked his death.
It was insane.
Yeah.
It was insane and how they went about it. Can I go into it
Please,
or whatever?
please.
So eventually the Italians break down the Peaky Blinders, and it's a slow breakdown. They're not killing them yet. They're not, but they're disabling everything. And eventually they go for a peace agreement where they get everything. The,
Everything.
the
Yep.
everything. 100% of the liquor business, 100% of the manufacturing business.
The tracks, all of it.
Yeah, all of it. And it's kind of this you can see, but it's kind of this dominance thing where Adrian Brody's or Changretta is like, get on your fucking knees and sign the paper or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. And Tommy's like, I already sold or I was gonna sell to Al Capone. And
Bringing Al Capone into because they say the fat guy in Chicago.
yeah,
It's like, oh my God, it's Al Capone.
yeah, he's gonna sell it to Al Capone. And they all have their guard down as he's signing it or whatever. And fucking Arthur just busts open that door
Yeah.
with the Thompson or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Fucking Christ, that scene, we were like, Jesus, that's such a good ending to a season. I can see why it's your favorite.
And it's
Uh,
perfect writing because they showed us then that that was Tommy's plan. Like he had walked up to Polly and said, "You and Linda are the only people that can know that he's not actually dead."
yeah. So, and that's what, and you can even see on Arthur, which I thought was really cool on my second watch. You can see where they, because he was garroted.
Yeah. It's almost
You,
like, I mean, you might see this differently than I do, but like, it's like Arthur pretended to die, so they leave him alone,
yeah,
Like,
he faked dead
yeah.
almost. Um, and also like Arthur, I feel the need to say that maybe last season and maybe this season, Arthur's kind of cleaning up his act.
Sure.
Arthur's kind of cleaning up his act where he's still this guy or whatever, but he's cutting down the drinking. I mean, you see that he still needs it to go to bed. You see that he needs
Hmm.
whatever, but like he's visibly shaking quite a bit because he's cleaning up his act. And then he got kind of a validation that he had never gotten before, where he saved the family.
Yeah.
Everyone was in there. He saved the family.
Yep.
So, and you can see that in the last two seasons that he got this validation.
Yeah. Which is, well, I'm going to save that for the very end, but which leads me to a huge question I have for the movie. But yeah, season four, incredible. If you don't watch Peaky Blinders and you just watch this and watch the movie, please watch season four.
Yeah,
Incredible. Let's talk about more big name actors. Season five. Guess who gets thrown right in? Anya Taylor-Joy.
I love Anya Taylor-Joy. First of all, she's a smoke show. Second of all, um,
And not just her. I talk about other guys that are in huge shows. I mean, Abraham Gold's played by the guy who plays Littlefinger in Game of Thrones, right? Forgot to mention that. And then Cosmo Jarvis, the main character in Shogun,
yeah,
plays the sniper in this, like a dude who's living in a mental asylum that was with them. Like the amount of actors they just pulled into this show is just it's next
yeah,
level.
it's craziness how
Yeah,
like, and I feel like besides Cillian Murphy and Tom Hardy, I know there are big name actors in it, but they don't feel like actors. Like they are the characters.
they are their
Like
character.
Anya
Absolutely.
Taylor-Joy, I love Anya Taylor-Joy because she is my like she's a great scream queen. That's how I got introduced to her. Like
Sure.
you see her in the menu and the witch and everything. I think she's an amazing actress. I feel like I'm gonna I'm gonna make a jab if it's okay with you. But like Anya Taylor-Joy is everything that Sydney Sweeney wants to be.
Facts.
And Sydney Sweeney, you can people hate her because she's like a Nazi or whatever. I hate her because she went 0 and 4 in the box office last year.
Housemaid did okay, but that wasn't her. That wasn't because of her. That was because dudes wanted to
She's a
see her
terrible
naked.
actor. Just
Yeah.
on the sorry, I'm going on a tangent or whatever. But no, Anya Taylor-Joy acts her ass off in this. She plays such a bitch in this
Yeah.
show.
She's
Like she plays such a bitch in this show.
I love too that they let her be an American. Because when I saw her in it, I was real worried she's gonna be trying to do a British accent, which I'm sure she could do and be great at it. But they let her be a annoying, privileged American, and it's great.
I mean, yeah, there are other words to describe her that probably aren't okay for YouTube, but
Yeah, probably not.
but no,
Um,
she's amazing in this. Like, I mean,
yeah,
I don't I want to go back to it and say that like you can say in TV shows that there are weaker seasons, right? Like season 2 of The Boys isn't my favorite. Season 2 of Ted Lasso, it's not my favorite or whatever.
sure.
I think that it's crazy that this show doesn't have a weak season. It has a weaker season compared to the other seasons inside the show.
I agree.
It doesn't have a weak season. It's never like, oh, this is a season 2 episode or this is a
Yep,
season 4 episode or whatever.
yep,
There are not, and it's almost anthology in a way. Like you can just watch a recap of season 1 and then watch season 2.
yep. We
Like,
didn't even, before we get too far into season five, we didn't even talk about the end of season four. Like, we think Alfie's dead.
yeah.
Like, he and Tommy shoot each other.
Which is crazy. That's
Yeah,
yeah, that
yeah,
was a good
yeah,
cliffhanger, right?
yeah,
That
yeah,
was
it
the
was.
cliffhanger
And then
because
so,
Alfie said that he had cancer
right,
and he was like, I want Tommy to shoot me because Tommy and I have been this weird like brother dynamic where we hate
yeah.
each other, but we we hate each other, but you can't put us against each other.
it's very interesting because he'll do it to himself, but Alfie is very, and Tom Hardy, I think it was perfect in this role. He
Yeah.
plays the line of he's only doing things to benefit himself, and he's incredibly honest about it. He says
Yeah.
it all the time. He's like, "Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't I do that? Like, yes, I betrayed you, you know?"
Yeah. But the thing about it is that to me, Solomon and Shelby are brothers in the
Sure.
sense of they fucking hate each other, but you're not gonna get them against each other.
Yeah.
But after the first time or whatever, since they made the mutual understanding of we're both looking out for ourselves or whatever,
Yep.
but we need each other to do that.
Yeah.
And
They
then
have
it's
needed each other the entire show.
they have, and it's I scratch my back or you scratch my back, I scratch yours
Yep.
situation where, like I said, and I keep going back to it, but it's like they don't like each other. They're not friends. They're not anything like that. You never see them go out for like a drink or take a smoke break together or anything. But if Tommy needs help, Alfie's gonna send his men.
Yep.
Like, and vice versa. Like
Yep.
it's never this business adventure is not my cup of tea, so we're not gonna be involved with it. Like there are
Yep.
times where Tommy's like, "Hey, I need men," and Alfie just doesn't ask any questions. He's like, "Okay."
Yeah.
Like,
And you talk about how there's like no weak seasons, right? For me, like 5 and 6 feel weaker just because of how great 4 was, but season 5 has some of the best scenes in the show. Jimmy and the Billy Boys' first appearance when they attack
yeah,
Amarama Gold and Bonnie, incredible. Like
yeah,
they're singing as they walk up, they're terrifying. Then they beat the hell out of Bonnie, who is Abrahama's son, and they crucify him. Um, and this is the point. I mean, Abrahama's broken now. Like
yeah,
this is like when I talk about them watering him down, they didn't really water him down. I was wrong to say that. He's just completely broken because his son is gone now.
yeah. And his son was like, we saw his son. It wasn't just like he had a son and then
Right.
like his son was a boxer.
And a
And
blinder. They made him a
yeah,
Peaky Blinder. Yeah.
his son was a blinder, but he was also like a boxer and he was doing stuff and he was Aberrima was proud of him,
Yeah.
which was like really odd or really over the top for like the 1920s where a dad was like in the mines for 19 hours a day and like
Or it was the Shelby's dad where he was just non-existent,
yeah,
and
or someone who beats the shit out of their kid. But like
right.
Aberrima was he was Bonnie was the pride of Aberrima.
Yep.
Like he was the pride of Aberrima. And he goes to Shelby and he's like to the Shelbys and he's like, they crucified my son. They crucified my son. And Tommy is like, okay, like what do we need to do? Because Aberrima is a very valuable asset.
Sure. Well, and I love that scene too because he shows up and he has beaten the hell out of Johnny Dogs because
Mhm.
Johnny Dogs is the only person who knew he was there. So it's like, oh wow, is Johnny Dogs like Johnny Dogs is the most loyal dude in the world. I think they named him Dogs because he's a loyal dog. And
Yeah,
I listened to the actor talk a little bit and he prided himself in the fact that he is not a blinder. He's a friend to Tommy, right? And the most loyal friend.
Aberrima
Um,
or
no, Johnny
Johnny
Dogs.
Dogs. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. And I mean that was really, really good. And then what I love about this show, and a lot of TV shows do this, but they'll take a minor character and make an insane scene with them, and that is Mickey. Excuse me, the bartender.
yeah,
The interrogation scene with the bartender.
yeah,
Oh my God. That to me, that felt like Christoph Waltz at the beginning of Inglourious Bastards. The
exactly.
foreboding. Oh my God, it was so good.
Every scene is an interrogation kind of deal.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but no, I mean, yeah, I feel like, and then we have probably the most problematic antagonist in the show. It's a rough one, even whenever
Mm,
we heard it. There's
hmm.
this guy, but Tommy has run for office at this point.
Right. He's in Parliament. Yep.
He's in parliament as a socialist. Not saying
Or
he's an
I think he's
actual
a
left.
capitalist right now. I think he's a socialist in six. I think he goes in, or
Okay,
not communist. He's a
he's a
communist.
communist, right? Which, not to say, as someone on the left, right? I'm not gonna say that Thomas Shelby is a communist in real life. He's doing that
No,
to
no.
make. He's
Yeah,
more of a socialist. He's
sure.
more of a socialist. Um, but he's doing it to get on in Parliament, to
Hmm.
have office. Um, and he's very dirty in it. He kills reporters off, like just for asking them certain
And
questions.
did is it the blinders that kill him?
Yes.
Because I think so too. Arthur's very adamant that they didn't though.
No, but they did.
Like
But they did.
they had to have.
Who else would kill? Like, what other motivation would
Right,
someone have based on what we saw?
right.
Like,
Yeah,
if there was a different interrogation with someone else or a different interview with someone else, it would make it possible for them to have killed them.
sure.
But it was the blinders. That's all we saw.
Yeah. And then, like we were just talking about, we think Alfie's dead. Alfie is alive.
Right. Love the guy. Love the guy.
Yeah, yeah,
And he's
can't
just doing my favorite thing about him is that at this point he's just doing his own thing.
shooting at
Like
ships and pigeons, just hanging out.
yeah, he's he's made enough money off the liquor business and everything like that where he's just doing it, he's just feeling it out. Like I just think that's so funny, like that he's just not a part of it anymore.
Yep.
But uh, um so Tommy has run for parliament. He's a communist. There's a socialist there who is starting the Nazi Party of England,
Hmm.
which is pretty rough.
And
Um,
wants Tommy to help him start it.
he wants Tommy to help him. He's invited to like a dinner party with him. Tommy loathes this guy, not because he's a Nazi. That, I mean, obviously that doesn't help his case or anything, but Thomas doesn't like him, not because he's a Nazi, but because he wants power over Tommy.
And he slept with Lizzie,
And he slept with
which
Lizzie.
he acts like doesn't bother him, but it
But
bothers
you
him.
know he did. Yeah. But yeah, it's insane that
Yeah.
that's what's happening.
And I brought up Inglorious Bastards earlier. It's coming up to a point of kind of Inglorious Bastards too, right? Like how
Yeah.
at the end they're trying to plot to kill Hitler, and this they're plotting to kill the guy who's trying to start the Nazi party.
Yeah.
And
Go ahead.
this
Go ahead.
cliffhanger is incredible.
So, can I go ahead and tell you about my needle
Please,
drop?
please.
So, whenever they go to, they have this plan, right? They have Aberama Gold has a sniper rifle. Or no, Aberama Gold is holding watch while the sniper from the asylum
Yep. Like
uh
up in the crow's
gonna
nest. Yeah.
gonna kill him. Yeah. And Aberama's standing guard or whatever.
Abraham
Uh
is waiting to kill Jimmy.
yeah.
Jimmy, the guy that had killed his son. Yeah, he's waiting in the
Yeah.
wings to kill Jimmy. Yep.
Right. So those two, you know it's gonna be good. And obviously, like whenever I saw this for the first time, I love a good Nazi killing movie. I
Of
love a
course.
good
Killing
who doesn't?
Nazis.
Who doesn't? But like who doesn't? But like you know what I mean? Like if there's a video game or a TV show or a movie where you get to see Nazis get blown up and shit, I'm there for it.
Dude, I'm sure you've seen it because you're an A24 guy. Green Room.
Yeah. It's just so, but they're at this theater because the guy's gonna announce the Nazi party
Hmm.
or whatever and ask for support and everything. And then I'm Scum starts playing, which is this like 2013 neo-punk song
Yeah.
or whatever. As Tommy is getting ready for everything, he's like letting people into the show. He's running around making sure everything's going according to plan, everything like that. That's just what I meant by like perfect needle drops. Like that scene would not be the same without that song.
It's so chaotic, right?
Yeah,
Like it adds to just the chaos of the scene.
the best way I can describe it, have you seen Severance?
No. Mm-mm.
So I won't spoil it, but there's a scene where they make a plan and all four of them have to do something at the exact same time.
Okay.
So the camera shoots and the edit is rhythmic. So it's all of the four of them doing their thing on a rhythm. And it
Oh,
felt like
nice.
this was like the opposite of that, where it was so chaotic, it was so jumbled. You're seeing Tommy getting ready, Gold like fucking playing five finger fillet or whatever he's doing to pass the time. Like and then the sniper like adjusting a scope and everything. All
Yeah.
while this, like I keep saying, because it's really funny to me, while this like neo pop punk song is playing. Like,
Which makes it even cooler because then like all the Jewish guys bust in and start the chaos, right?
yeah, because
Like
Tommy,
yeah,
that's what Tommy had. That's what he did. Like,
yeah,
he was
yeah,
giving
that's what he
out
had
free tickets.
organized. Right.
So
But
that's
then the
just,
cliffhanger is, the assassination gets foiled, right? The
yeah,
sniper, right when he's about to shoot the guy, gets killed. Aberama gets stabbed to death, just like it. I didn't even think about it till right now. Aberama's entrance is aggressively stabbing a dude to death. His exit is getting aggressively stabbed to death.
yeah, it's craziness. Like, it's
Yep.
just, that ending is so chaotic.
Yep.
And then the ending scene leads to season six, where Paul, the first thing we learn is that Paul died from the IRA attacks.
Mm-hmm.
But that was because her actress died tragically of breast cancer.
Yep.
Um, and then we get into a plot point of Lizzie, not Lizzie, his daughter having tuberculosis,
Yes. Yep.
something. Yeah,
Yep.
he's something uncurable. Very sad. Tommy's not really allowed to be in there because he will get sick
Yeah.
and everything.
I do
And
want to make it's probably a controversial comment to make this, but why I said earlier about I'd like to see how much they changed for this season, like when I think it's McCrory died, who's plays Paul. I'm hoping that the daughter dying of sickness and stuff was already written and not rewritten, because if they changed it to that, it feels a little distasteful that
yeah,
like one of their main actresses had just died of an incurable disease and then they kill off a character with an incurable disease. Like I'm hoping that was already written, but
yeah, no, I don't think that's possible. I mean, it's possible. I don't think they would do that.
yeah, I don't think they did it purposely. I just thought, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
it's
sure,
just
sure. And it's very tragic. Like Thomas Shelby
sure.
is a lover.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
Thomas
and
Shelby.
he's already broken. We didn't even talk about that at the end of season 5, but at the end of season 5 he actually tries to kill himself.
Yeah.
Like he's a broken man. The whole idea of season 5 is he's like eventually I'm going to find someone that I cannot defeat, and that's how I'm gonna die. And then he's like, maybe I did find that person now.
Yeah.
So to go from that to his daughter dying, I mean, he's just completely broken.
And it's terrible because like Tommy's also made a pact to himself pretty much that like if he finds someone like that, he's going out on his own terms.
Hmm.
Like he's not gonna give that person the last laugh.
Right.
So he tries to kill himself or whatever. And then tragically, his daughter dies, and that just breaks him. Um, and then all
And
of
he
that,
thinks that it's like a curse from a gypsy too. So
yeah,
like he goes because Esme has been gone since John died, and he's trying to find Esme to see if she's the one that cursed. his daughter. And then he's going on this vendetta to figure out who did curse her. And so he's not
Yeah.
even there for his daughter's death.
No, he finds out later, um, which is all the more tragic
Hmm.
because instead of getting revenge, he could have seen or been there to help usher her along. And then a lot of this, I feel like the main antagonist of this season is Tommy.
Sure.
I feel like the main antagonist of this is Tommy. So we have him having these visions, these dreams. I believe he relapses into opium again.
Arthur relapses hard into
Arthur
opium because
relapses.
of Paul
Yeah,
dying.
Tommy actually
Yeah.
quits drinking.
Yeah, he only drinks water now. Yep.
Yeah. Um, so all of that, all of it culminating to Finn trying to go rogue and start his own thing. Uh, Tommy going and laying down the law, like, which is always badass or whatever.
Yeah.
But Tommy going and laying down the law, and
You
then
you have Michael, right? Like Michael blames Tommy for the death of his mom.
yes,
So he's like doing his own thing now
he's
too.
with Anya Taylor-Joy.
Yep. Yep.
But
And we were talking about the gypsy thing. Like in the meantime, Tommy finds out that he has a bastard son named Duke,
yeah,
which is really important because Barry Keoghan plays Duke in the movie.
yeah. Oh, that's cool.
Yep, yep,
So,
that's who that character is in the movie coming up.
and then we have the heart-wrenching scene. Tommy obviously goes and lays down the law, and he goes home, and his doctor says that he has the same thing that his daughter had, and showing him an X-ray.
But
Um,
it's like the same thing, but it's like cancer. You know, it's odd, right? Like
well,
Tommy's
I'm
having
sure,
seizures and things, but it's like cancer that was caused by being around tuberculosis.
yeah. Well, it's also affecting his lungs, and he's a 8 pack a day smoker or
Hmm.
whatever. Like,
Yeah.
whatever. So I'm sure that didn't help.
Yeah.
Um, so Tommy decides in a very heart in a really gut punch of a scene, and it's one of the last scenes of the show, is when Tommy calls his family together. They share a last like dinner, last feast or whatever. Tommy tells people to take care of themselves, everything. He actually breaks down crying, which is one of the first times we see him break his s- stoicism
In front of people, yeah.
in
We've seen him
front
in
of people.
private, but yeah,
Yeah.
yep.
We see it in private, but in front of people. Um, and then he goes to a caravan he had set up by himself to kill himself.
Yep.
Um, where he's met with a vision. Do you want to finish it off?
No, you got it.
Or he's met with this vision of his dead daughter, and she says, "You can't do this." And he was like, "I'm coming to be with you. Like, don't be silly. I'm coming to be with you."
He even
Or
questions if he's
whatever.
already dead.
Yeah,
He's like, "Am I already dead? Did Aunt Paul send you?" Like,
yeah. Um, and then he finds out that the doctor was in bed, well, not literally, but like was in bed with the guy who started the Nazi party in England and Hitler, the Fuhrer. So he goes and finds the doctor and kills him, I believe, right?
no, he doesn't. That's
He
what's so
doesn't.
shocking. He doesn't kill him.
No. Man, I messed that up.
Yeah, so
Hey.
he holds a gun to the doctor's head. He makes the doctor admit that he's not sick, and then he fires two bullets in the ground beside him and just leaves.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah, because it was his power play,
Yeah.
which I believe, I mean, it has to be that, right?
Yeah, oh yeah.
That has to be the movie.
Yeah, so that's what I don't know. So, I mean, we're done with the show now, right? Like the only thing we
Yeah.
miss is that he kills Michael. right. Like kills Michael, he can start funneling his opium into America or whatever. But so this movie takes place either during or right after World War II, is what we know.
Sure.
We know that Barry Keoghan is playing Duke. Some returning characters, so Stephen Graham's coming back, Ada, Charlie, Johnny Dogs, Curly, and Elijah are all coming back.
I guess those are
Um,
flashbacks or whatever.
I don't know. Like
Yeah.
they're listed in the cast, so I'm not sure. And then they also added Tim Roth and Rebecca Ferguson. But those are all the names they have listed. So I don't know, is Lizzie gone? Is Charlie gone? Where's Arthur? Because part of the gut-wrenching thing you were talking about is that Arthur knew Tommy was dying. And Arthur wasn't there at the dinner at the end. And he had what was his wife's name? Linda, right? I
Yeah,
think it's Linda.
she was kind of a bitch. I
Yeah, she
never
was
like
terrible. I didn't
yes,
want to
we
talk
never
about her.
touched on
Yeah.
her because she wasn't that important, but
No,
she
she
was a
wasn't.
bitch.
She and Anya Taylor-Joy were very interesting because in this show, when you introduced a woman to one of the brothers, they always kind of tried to break up the family.
Yeah,
Um, Even Esme a little bit tried that. But anyhow,
it's
so
understandable, kinda,
sure,
but
yeah.
like, yeah,
But so Linda reads a note from Arthur, and this is when Tommy breaks down that he says, the letter says, Tommy, where you're going, I'm going to be with you soon. Which to me says Arthur's going to kill himself.
yeah,
And so is Arthur in this movie? I don't see him listed in the cast, or did he kill himself? And
yeah.
is that what he's like Tommy's struggling with? I don't know. I have no idea. And where's Finn? Because Finn's not dead. Finn was just exiled from the family. So is he gonna come back in this? I don't know.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
That's gonna be
Well,
rough, but it's gonna be like I said, I'm just worried that it's either gonna be like really, really good or really, really bad and no in between.
yeah, because the ending and Cillian Murphy has even said this, the ending of the show was so good that he really didn't want to revisit it. I mean, the shot, so the very end of the show is his caravan gets burnt down and you just see him riding away on a white horse, like riding off
Yeah.
into the sunset basically. Perfect ending to the show, I think.
I don't want to be insensitive. I'm not gonna say I know anything about anything. But in Romani culture, like a white horse is like very symbolic.
Sure. And so is burning caravans.
Yeah,
Like it kind of shows that's death. Like everyone that in their family died, they burnt them in a caravan, including his daughter.
yeah. Death and rebirth, maybe.
Yeah.
But
So I don't know. I'm hoping it's good. I'm excited for it, especially since I just finished the TV show for the fourth time like 5 hours ago.
so
So, but hopefully we got you guys kind of prepared for the movie. Rather than having to watch 36 hours, you can watch us talk for an hour and a half. But any final thoughts on Peaky Blinders?
no, I'm sure I'll come up with something before the podcast that we totally missed, but
But yeah, no, this really love this show. It's definitely in my top. It's certainly in my top 10. It's probably in my top 5 for TV shows, I would think. I
sure.
absolutely love this show. So, and as cinematic as the show is, it felt primed for a movie. So, we'll
Yeah.
find out shortly.
So,
But sweet. Well, that has been Peaky Blinders and our good friend Lunador. Thanks for coming on for a long one, man.
all right. Appreciate it.
All right, and hey, we'll see you guys next time.